Chapter 18, The Banana Room. Hope you're not in trouble. That rat-fink Trey. He knew I was in trouble because he was the one who ratted me out. Hope you're not in trouble. Ha! Very funny, Trey. I was right where he wanted me to be, walking the long march of death with Jeffrey Gonzalez to the principal's office. I sucked on my braids. The more I thought about it, the madder I got at Trey. So what if I have a bunch of banned books in my locker? I'm not breaking any rules, Trey. That's what I should have said to him. Just because your mom took them out of the library doesn't mean I have to take them out of my locker. I didn't do anything wrong, Jeffrey said. I jumped a little, surprised to hear him say what I was thinking. He clearly thought he was in big trouble, too. What he'd been called to the office for, I had no idea. Jeffrey was a small, round Mexican kid with short, spiky hair and hairy Potter glasses. He was quiet, like me, but he was quiet because his brain was always somewhere else. The only time you could ever really get him talking was when you asked him about the science fiction movies he liked. In second grade, Lena Harvey had called him Space Cadet, and the nickname stuck. I can't have done anything wrong, Jeffrey said. At least, I don't think so. Did you do anything? I guess not everybody had heard about the banned books locker library. If he had, he would have known exactly why I was being called to the office. We turned the corner of the fourth grade hall. The office was just a few steps away. As soon as I saw it, all my anger was gone. Rebecca's words came back to me then. Definitely suspended. I didn't want to get suspended. I couldn't get suspended. No kid had gotten suspended in the whole time I'd been in Shelbourne Elementary. Getting suspended was something that happened to only really bad kids, the serious troublemakers, kids who were going to grow up to become people who chained dogs up in their front yard and threw trash out their car window. Jeffrey and I went into the office. The secretary, Mrs. Perry, told Jeffrey that Principal Banaszowski would see him first and told me to sit and wait. Jeffrey swallowed, gave me a wish me luck glance, and went into the principal's office. The door closed behind him. I sat in one of the chairs outside Detective Banaszowski's office like a criminal waiting to go into the interrogation room. But I wasn't a criminal. I never did anything to get in trouble. I never did anything, period. But that wasn't true, was it? I was here because I had done something. For some reason, I had decided to get as many of the books Mrs. Spencer had banned from the library and loan them out to as many people in my class as I could. Why had I done that? Why did I care? What did it matter if Mrs. Spencer banned those books? My parents would buy me whatever books I really wanted to read. I sucked on my braids and wondered what had gotten into me. This is why I keep quiet and never did anything. People who said and did whatever they were thinking got into trouble. Principal Banaszowski's door opened, and she led Jeffrey out. He looked stunned, like someone had told him there wasn't really such a thing as aliens. I'm sure your grandmother was a terrific person, Jeffrey, Mrs. Banaszowski said, and I know you'll miss her very much. Go ahead and collect your things, and you can wait here until your parents come. Jeffrey nodded, just barely, and left the office without even looking at me. Miss Ollinger, Principal Banaszowski said, gesturing for me to come to join her in her office. Any doubt I might have had about why I was called to the office was officially gone. No adult ever called you by your last name unless you were in deep, deep trouble. I stepped through into Principal Banaszowski's office. I'd never been in here before. It was a square little room with white cinder block walls and no windows. I thought there might be one of those big mirrors they have in interrogation rooms where people on the other side can see through. But the only things on the walls were lots of framed certificates and plaques with her name on them, pictures of her family, and bananas. Lots and lots of bananas. There were bananas everywhere. Banana paintings, bananas with arms and legs and faces, monkeys with bananas, banana hats, banana slippers, Banana Republic ads, a collection of those blue stickers that come on bananas, basically anything and everything that said or showed a banana on it. I guess kindergarteners had been giving her banana stuff forever. Principal Banaszowski told me to sit, and sat down behind her banana-decorated desk. Miss Ollinger, we need to talk about your locker, she said. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do anything bad. I just hated it so much that Mrs. Spencer took away my favorite book. At first, all I was going to do was just read all the books she banned. But then I started collecting them, and other people wanted to read them. It wasn't anybody's fault but mine. I swear I'll take them home and never, ever bring another one to school again. Just don't suspend me. That's what I wanted to say. But I was so scared, all I said was, my locker? Principal Banaszowski leaned forward. Yes, specifically the piece of paper you have taped to the outside of your locker. I blinked. Piece of paper? The one that says, books banned at Shelbourne Elementary. The list of banned books I put on my locker? Why was she talking about that? The books inside were the big deal. I felt a little hiccup of hope. Was the list all this was about? Or did Mrs. Banaszowski know why I put that list on my locker? I stared at a grinning banana with sunglasses on her desk and hoped she didn't know about the stack of banned books inside my locker. First, Principal Banaszowski said, I don't like the word banned. Those books weren't banned from the library. They were removed from the library. What's the difference? I asked. I threw a hand over my mouth. Had I said that out loud? What was I thinking? Principal Banaszowski's voice got that you don't know anything tone adults get when they don't like being questioned. The difference, Mrs. Banaszowski said, is that in one case, books are banned arbitrarily. Do you know what arbitrarily means? For no good reason? In a way, yes. It can also mean based on just one person's opinion, not the opinion of others. In this case, the books weren't removed arbitrarily. They were inappropriate, and more than one person agreed that was true. A whole school board, in fact. So they were removed. But it was just one person, Mrs. Spencer, I wanted to say. She didn't like one book, and she got the school board to ban it. Then she helped other people who didn't like other books do the same thing, when there might be lots more people out there who do like them, or just don't care. But this time I didn't say anything. Blurting out an objection was one thing. Arguing with the principal was another. Still, I didn't see what the difference between banning and removing was. Either way, kids couldn't read them. And that's when I remembered why I started the BBLL in the first place. Good books shouldn't be hidden away. They should be read by as many people as many times as possible. But that wasn't exactly true. It wasn't just good books that shouldn't be hidden away. It was all books. Any books. It didn't matter what they were about, or whether I liked them, or Mrs. Spencer liked them, or the school board liked them. I was lucky. My parents would buy me any book I wanted if I asked them to. But not everybody's parents would do that. Not everybody's parents could do that. That's what libraries were for, to make sure that everybody had the same access to the same books everyone else did. That's why I started the Banned Books Locker Library. And that was why I was going to get every last book Mrs. Spencer had banned, even Captain Underpants. I think it's the same thing, I said, out loud. My voice got a little shaky as I spoke, but I kept going. Banning and removing. Either way, people can't read them, and that's all that really matters. Principal Banaszowski took a deep breath. Regardless, she said, the school board is the ultimate authority here, and they've made their decision, and the books have been removed. There's no reason to go advertising it. If there's nothing wrong with it, why do you care if anybody finds out? I wanted to ask her. I didn't say it, though. I'd said enough already. But as I thought it, I realized I could be asking myself the same question. If there was nothing wrong with the BBLL, why was I keeping it a secret? I blushed, feeling guilty about the BBLL all over again. So, Principal Banaszowski said, you'll take it down by the end of the period. It wasn't a question.